Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we are going to be tackling a question that one of you sent in.
Oh.
Yeah, about watercress. Is it more than just like a fancy garnish for a salad?
Okay.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
You wanted to know about the potential health benefits.
Right.
And we found a great source to help us unpack this.
Awesome.
A 2019 research review.
Yeah.
From the International Journal of Medicinal Plants and Natural Products.
Yeah.
All about watercress as a functional food.
Interesting.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
what exactly are functional foods?
That's a great question. And the article actually dives right into it.
Okay.
You know, it's not just about getting your vitamins and minerals anymore.
Right.
Functional foods, they kind of go a step further
Mm-hmm.
with the potential to actually like help prevent
Right.
or even manage certain health conditions.
So like superfoods.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm already intrigued.
Okay.
Tell me more about watercress specifically.
Well, one interesting thing is that watercress comes from the same family
Okay.
as some other veggies that we know and love, like
Oh.
broccoli, kale, that whole bunch.
Yeah, right.
The Brassicaceae family,
So-
to be exact.
Okay.
And one thing that they all share
What's that?
is a group of compounds called glucosinolates.
Glucosinolates.
Yeah, you know, that slightly pungent, almost peppery smell they all have.
Yeah.
That's the glucosinolates. And researchers are starting to find that these compounds
Uh-huh.
could have some pretty significant health benefits.
Okay. So maybe watercress is hiding some superpowers,
Yeah.
like its famous cousins.
Yeah.
But what kind of benefits are we talking about here?
That's where those 4 clinical trials come in,
Okay.
the ones that the review focused on.
Right.
These studies looked at what happens when people eat watercress regularly
Mm-hmm.
as part of their normal diet,
Gotcha.
not in extracts or supplements, which is important to note.
So real world scenarios,
Yeah.
not just lab experiments.
Exa-
What did they find?
One of the earliest studies from 1995
Okay.
found that watercress could protect against a carcinogen found in tobacco smoke.
Oh, wow.
It's called NNK, and unfortunately it can increase the risk of lung cancer,
Right.
especially for smokers.
Of course.
But the study suggests that watercress might actually help counteract that risk.
Wow, that's significant. What about the other studies?
Well, another one from a few years later
Okay.
looked at the effects of watercress on acetaminophen.
Acetaminophen.
You know, that common over-the-counter pain reliever?
Yeah. Tylenol.
It turns out that acetaminophen can sometimes produce harmful byproducts in the liver.
Oh, no.
But this study found that watercress helped reduce those harmful metabolites.
So it's not just about preventing cancer,
Right,
but
yeah.
potentially protecting our organs from damage, too.
Exactly.
This is getting interesting.
I know, right?
So what else?
And the more recent studies add another layer to this.
Okay.
A 2007 study
Mm-hmm.
found that eating watercress daily for 8 weeks actually helped protect DNA from damage.
Really?
And this was particularly noticeable in smokers,
Huh.
which ties back to that earlier study.
Oh, yeah?
And then in 2013,
Uh-huh.
research showed that watercress could help protect against the kind of oxidative stress
Oxidative stress.
that we experience after like a hard workout.
Okay, I'm seeing a theme here.
What's that?
Protection.
Yes.
Protection from carcinogens.
Yes.
Protection from medication side effects.
Sure.
Protection from DNA damage.
Yeah.
And even protection from the stress our bodies go through naturally.
Hmm.
Is that what makes watercress a functional food?
It definitely plays a part.
This ability to protect us.
And what's really interesting is that a lot of this protection seems to come down to watercress's ability to fight oxidative stress.
Okay.
Basically, oxidative stress is an imbalance in the body.
Okay.
We've got these things called free radicals.
Free radical.
Damage our cells and tissues.
Right.
And they're linked to everything from aging to chronic diseases.
Oh.
But watercress seems to have compounds that can help combat those free radicals and keep things in balance.
Hold on. Before we get too deep into the science of oxidative stress,
Okay.
I want to make sure we're connecting this back to you, our listener.
Good idea.
This isn't just about abstract concepts.
Right?
It's about real-world implications for your health.
Absolutely.
Imagine a food that could help your body better handle the everyday stresses it encounters.
Yeah.
That's the potential we're talking about with watercress.
Absolutely. And remember, all of these studies looked at watercress as a whole food,
Right.
not just isolation extracts.
Okay.
It's a great reminder that food synergy,
Food synergy.
how all these different nutrients work together,
Uh-huh.
is super important.
So you might not get the same benefits from a supplement
Right.
as you would from the whole plant.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So are we ready to say definitively that watercress is a functional food?
Based on these findings,
Yeah.
there's a strong argument for it. But like with any good science,
Right.
we need more research
Of course.
to fully understand the scope of its benefits and how it works.
Okay, fair enough. More research is always a good thing.
Always.
But this has me thinking,
What about it?
if we're not just talking about a garnish anymore,
Right.
what are some ways to actually get more watercress into our diets?
Now that's where it gets fun.
Okay.
We know it's great in salads,
Yeah.
but let's get creative here.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about adding it to smoothies?
Ooh.
Or maybe a soup?
Ooh, a watercress soup.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that.
I know.
This is making me want to experiment in the kitchen.
Good.
But before we get carried away with culinary adventures,
Yeah.
I think it's time to take a quick step back in time.
Okay.
Our outline mentioned the historical use of watercress,
Right.
and I'm really curious to learn more about that.
Okay. You're right. We can't talk about watercress
Yeah.
without acknowledging its rich history. It's not some new fad superfood.
Right.
This little plant has been on people's plates
Really?
for centuries, going all the way back to ancient times.
How long? Who knew?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
The Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, they all valued watercress.
Huh.
They saw it as both like a nutritious food
Okay.
and something with like medicinal properties.
Interesting.
There's actually a story
What's the story?
about Hippocrates, you know,
Yeah, vaguely rings a bell from history class.
the father of medicine.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the story goes that Hippocrates actually chose to build his hospital
Okay.
near a stream, specifically because it had an abundance of watercress growing there.
What?
He wanted easy access to it for his patients.
Wow, that's incredible. Talk about taking your greens seriously.
I know, right?
So they clearly recognized its value back then.
Yeah.
But what about modern research?
Hmm.
Is there anything to support those ancient beliefs?
There is.
Oh.
Aside from all the research we already talked about
Right.
oxidative stress,
Oh.
there are other studies looking at watercress
Okay.
and its potential to support cardiovascular health.
Interesting.
Some early findings suggest
Yeah.
it could even help regulate blood sugar levels.
Okay, so maybe this IS more than just a passing health trend.
Right.
But I'm curious, what about those culinary adventures we were talking
Oh,
about? Any tips on how to actually use watercress
absolutely.
beyond the salad bowl?
Let's start with that peppery, slightly spicy flavor.
Okay.
It can really liven up a dish.
Okay.
You mentioned smoothies earlier.
Yeah.
That's a great way to sneak in some extra nutrients.
Right.
Just toss a handful of watercress in
Okay.
with your usual fruits and veggies.
Simple enough. What about something a little more adventurous?
Well, have you ever tried watercress pesto?
Ooh.
It's delicious.
Okay.
Or you could get really creative
Yeah.
and whip up a watercress soup.
A soup.
There are tons of recipes online.
Right.
If you need some inspiration.
I'm definitely getting hungry just thinking about all these possibilities.
I know, right?
But as much as I love a good culinary challenge,
Yeah,
I always like to remind our listeners
of course.
that everybody's body is different.
Yes, very true.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly.
So it's always a good idea
Mhm.
to pay attention to how you feel
Right.
after eating certain foods,
Absolutely.
especially new foods.
Such an important point.
Yeah.
And if you have any specific concerns
Right.
or are thinking about making big changes to your diet,
Okay.
it's always best to talk to your doctor
Mm-hmm.
or a registered dietitian.
Makes sense.
They can give you personalized advice
Right.
based on your individual needs.
Couldn't agree more.
Good.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
From ancient history to modern research to creative cooking, it seems like watercress really does have a lot to offer.
It really does.
But before we wrap things up completely, I think we need to leave our listeners with a little something to ponder.
Okay.
What's the one big takeaway you want them to remember about watercress?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
I think the big takeaway here is that watercress is more than just a pretty garnish.
Right.
It's a nutritional powerhouse
Right.
with a long history of use.
Mm-hmm.
And modern research is starting to back up
Yeah.
some of those traditional beliefs
Right.
about its health benefits.
I completely agree. And what's exciting is that we're really just scratching the surface here.
Right.
There's so much more to learn
Definitely.
about watercress and its potential to impact our health.
Absolutely.
So for you, the listener,
Yes.
the question is, what will you do with this newfound knowledge?
Exactly.
Knowing what you now know about its potential benefits
Right.
and versatility, would you consider adding more watercress to your diet?
And remember, you don't have to limit yourself to just salads.
Right.
Get creative.
Yeah.
Explore those smoothies, soups, sandwiches. Whatever sparks your culinary curiosity.
Exactly. We've given you a taste of what's possible.
Yeah.
But the real adventure starts when you
Okay.
take this information
Right.
and make it your own.
I love that.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe watercress will become your new favorite superfood.
It could happen.
Or maybe it'll simply inspire you to try something new in the kitchen.
Exactly.
Either way, we hope this deep dive
Yeah.
has sparked your curiosity
Right.
and given you a fresh perspective
A new perspective.
on this often overlooked leafy green.
And if you're eager to learn more, we've included links to all the studies we discussed
Oh, yeah.
in the show notes. Happy exploring.
That's it for this deep dive.
See you next time.
Remember, there's a whole world of fascinating information out there just waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely.
So keep asking questions, keep learning,
Keep exploring.
and keep diving deep.